Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to The Walk. Today is Wednesday, April 2nd, and this is take 2 because the dogs decided to wrestle right next to me on the couch, and I had to put the puppy into a gated area. So anyway, we are up to the part where it talks about the east gate and the outer court. When I did the research on the measurements, I thought I was going to find some kind of really neat underlying meaning. And what I found is that they literally are just that. It's just the measurements. And it was very, very, very specific. So we've got to keep that in mind. So verse 5 says, "And behold, there was a wall all around the outside of the temple area. And the length of the measuring reed in the man's hand was 6 long cubits, each being a cubit and a handbreadth in length. So he measured the thickness of the wall, 1 reed, and the height, 1 reed." The thickness of the wall and the height are the exact same measurement. In the Fire Study Bible, it talks about this wall, and it says, "The physical wall would mark the temple area and set it apart from the rest of the city. In a spiritual sense, Christ's followers, whose bodies are now the living temples of the Holy Spirit, must keep themselves separate from the belief and lifestyles of the sinful society around them." Now, does that mean that we're going to not engage in society at all? No, but what it means is we're not going to engage in the sinful things. We're not going to get involved in the sinful things that our society gets involved in. In the Cultural Study Bible, there was a note that said, while chapter 9 ended with the description of the Lord's victory against Gog and its hordes who invaded the land of Israel, chapter 40 begins with the description of the new temple of the Lord. The sequence is significant. The vision of Ezekiel's can be best understood when compared to the accounts of temples and temple building in the ancient world, as well as against the account in the book of Kings. So the 6 long cubits, a normal cubit is about 18 inches, a long cubit is 21 inches. The rod was 6 long cubits or 11 feet long. So this next section we move into starts to talk about the gateway. And the Cultural Study Bible, again, had a great note. It said, "The size and design of the gateway shows its great importance in the temple complex." So that's what we really want to take away from here, is that this is not only being described at the very beginning of the vision, but it's showing its importance because of the size and the way that it's designed and how specific it is. Verse 6. "Then he went into the gateway, facing east, going up its steps, and measured the threshold of the gate, 1 reed deep." Cultural Study Bible says, "The gate through which Yahweh's glory would make its entry," in chapter 43, verses 1 through 4. Similarly, God's glory had left the temple through the same gate. Since temples tended to be oriented toward the east, this would be the most important gate. So we've got to keep in mind that this is describing the most important gate. It's where God's glory left back in chapter 10, and it's also where God's glory is going to come back in. This is the gate that the glory of the Lord comes through. Verse 7. "And the side rooms, 1 reed long and 1 reed broad, and the space between the side rooms 5 cubits, and the threshold of the gate by the vestibule of the gate and at the inner end 1 reed. Then he measured the vestibule of the gateway on the inside 1 reed. Then he measured the vestibule of the gateway 8 cubits, and its jambs 2 cubits, and the vestibule of the gate was at the inner end. And there were 3 side rooms on either side of the east gate. The 3 were of the same size, and the jambs on either side of the same size. Then he measured the width of the opening of the gateway, 10 cubits, and the length of the gateway, 13 cubits. There was a barrier before the side rooms, 1 cubit on either side. And the side rooms were 6 cubits on either side. Then he measured the gate from the ceiling of the one side room to the ceiling of the other, a breadth of 25 cubits. The openings faced each other. He measured also the vestibule 60 cubits, and around the vestibule of the gateway was the court. From the front of the gate at the entrance to the front of the inner vestibule of the gate was 50 cubits. And the gateway had windows all around, narrowing inwards toward the side rooms and toward their jambs. And likewise the vestibule had windows all around inside, and on the jambs were palm trees. Okay, said before, the order in which this temple is being shown to Ezekiel matters. This gate has well, first we've got this wall, which is there for protection. And then we've got this gate, which is where the God's glory is going to enter. How does this apply to us? We are the temple of the Holy Spirit. What do we guard against? We guard against attacks from the enemy. We guard against influences of the enemy. We guard against sin. That's our wall. And the God's glory enters everywhere we go. The holiness of his name and the power of his name is with us, and we're able to speak that whenever we feel the Holy Spirit leading us to speak that. And it's important that we not lose sight of that, and that's something that's unique to us because we're followers of Jesus Christ. Have a wonderful day. God bless, and keep walking the walk.